listening to the Life and Wisdom Speaks podcast on Laws of Life with your host and mindset transformational life coach, Barb Cole. This is where we talk about the life cycle from the beginning to the end of time. We discuss parenting, love, family, relationships, and more with special guests from all walks of life. Keeping it real, raw, and uncut. So sit back and sip your favorite drink as we bring you an inspiring hour of deep stories, thought-provoking insight, wisdom, and laughter that will transform your life's journey towards a different mindset. This is the Life and Wisdom Speaks podcast. Here's Barb.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining us, and welcome to all of our listeners that are tuning into this podcast episode of Laws of Life. The title today is a really good one. It's a very passionate title, and a great friend of mine that I've met through this journey that shared with me his story, and I'm just excited to have him on here to share his journey. And the title today is in Series 7, Living Your Best Life. And I kind of jumped ahead because I really wanted him to put this out here because it's so important for us early on to understand what our purpose is all about. So I want to welcome my guest today. My title is episode 1 of Series 7, Growing into Who You Are and Want to Be. Your happy moments in life, your purpose. Everybody has to find it. So Mr. Awny is going to share with us what his journey has been all about. And so what I'm going to do now is let Awny introduce himself to everybody. So again, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Laws of Life. All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Awny. I am the podcast host of All In with Awny, where we get into it and we talk about the real things. I'm also a life coach, a photographer, a mentor, all of those good things, a husband, and a dog dad. So, we love life over here. We live life to the fullest. So I thank you, Miss Barb, for asking me to come grace your platform. It's a wonderful opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. I know everybody is super busy, in life. I just want to appreciate it. Thank you for your time to come on here and share your journey, your story as we move through this chapter in our lives. Everybody's got a journey, everybody's got a story. So I appreciate you being on here to share with us your story. So you're going to tell us about yourself and what you do, things that you're involved with, all that kind of good stuff. And so thank you for sharing that. So again, you're welcome. Thank you. So again, I'm going to, share this with those who join in late. For those who join us late, this is Welcome to Laws of Life. This is Season 7, Episode 1, and I'm your host, Barb Cole, and we're going to be talking about growing into who you are and want to be, your happy moments, and most of all, your purpose. I can't stress that enough about purpose. Purpose is it's a small word, but it's so significant to all of us. Even as children, they don't quite understand, but it's for us to try to help them to understand. So as they grow older, they start to grab a hold of, what's my reason for being here? What is my purpose? What's my why? And that's a huge question. What is my why? So I'm going to move on through here, Awny, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Can you repeat your name for us again?
It is Awny. Awny. Yes.
All right. I love that name. It's so
Thank you.
Nobody's got that name, right? You're the original.
I went to school with a girl with the same name, but she spelled it differently. So,
okay, then.
But I've never heard of anybody else's name.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes. Thank you.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask this first question, and we're going to keep this episode, I call it short, sweet, because I don't want people to, think we're going to go into a whole hour and just wear them out. But I think we can get the point across in about 30 minutes. And then that way people can take this and digest what we're sharing with you. And then at the end of the show, then you'll tell people how to reach you. And, if they have information about what you do, your photography work, your podcast, and the things that you do in your community. All right?
Okay.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. Here's my first question, Awny. I remember when you and I talked, you mentioned, that you're big on purpose and destiny. I want to ask the question, what happened in your lifetime that really stood out or touched your life in your journey? Like when you shared with me when you were an infant, things that went on from a baby that, as your life journey moved, you start to, find out more things about your journey from the beginning. So kind of share with us what you mean by purpose and destiny.
Well, what took place in my life is when someone asked me what I like to do, and I didn't have an answer. And then when someone asked me what did I want to do with life, I didn't have an answer for that either. So then I had to really take myself back and go to the drawing board and say, okay, Awny, you haven't really gotten to know yourself to even know what is your purpose and where is your destiny. So it took me really having to self-evaluate some things in my life, in my personal life, because, we go through life, we may, go through the motions with living and we get jobs and we build these relationships. And sometimes we turn into a chameleon and we are what we around.
Correct.
And we're not supposed to be what we're around. So when I realized that I was becoming a chameleon and I was this way with this person and that way with that person, I had to realize, okay, Awny, who are you and what's your destiny and what's your purpose in life?
That's a lot of work when you pay attention to what everybody else is doing and you trying to emulate or satisfy everybody. You can't satisfy everybody. You can try, but it doesn't mean that you're going to even make them happy. So it's got to start from within. It's got to be what you want to do. It's your purpose. It's your life. God put you here for a reason. I tell people, you have a reason. I tell my grandson, he's only 10. I say, you're here because God said so. Nothing to do with your mom and your daddy. It's because God said so. He wanted you. You have a purpose, and you're going to continue to learn, grow, and walk into it. You might not understand now. You might want to eat these hot chips or whatever because you're a typical kid. He killed me. Come on, I want them hot chips. I said, boy, those will burn your stomach up. You don't need those. He doesn't understand yet, Awny, that things that you do now as a kid, you eventually understand later on in life. It's all part of growing into who you are and your purpose.
Most definitely.
And so when I start sharing these things with him, he does listen. I give him that. He listens. He might not get it today or understand it, but he's listening. Yes. And so down the road, I could be gone, to where God wants me to be in heaven. But these things will come back on him at a later date. So I put it out there. He can take it and digest it or put it on the shelf and it'll come back to him through, whenever it's time, whenever it's needed.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us more about, as a child, some of the things that you share with me that you experienced. And as a kid, you really didn't know what was going on. But, as you move through life, some of those things kind of came back to you.
Yes. Okay. So I was adopted at 2 days old. When I was born with a high dosage of cocaine in my system. And I had a heart murmur, and I had a lot of health issues. And my adopted mother, she, took time out with me, and I didn't know I was adopted until kind of like in my almost 10 years old, becoming a preteen. And finding out that I was adopted really kind of like distorted my views on family. It did two things. It distorted when I was young, but as I got older, it made me realize that family is anybody who I made family. It doesn't have to be blood. It doesn't have to. My mom didn't have to birth me, but she's my mother. So I definitely, went through a lot of changes as a child, trying to find out why, I don't look like my mom, or why don't I look like my siblings or none of my other family. And trying to kind of it caused me to kind of be very confused that, okay, so why didn't my mom want me and why didn't she come and find me, or why did she have to allow me to get adopted with someone who I don't know? So now I'm in this place where I'm empty and I feel alone. And I don't have anybody to really understand what it is that I have going on because, you know, I'm adopted and my older 3 siblings are biologically by my mom. So I didn't really have someone to really sit down and say, I feel how you feel, because I'm in this place now where I just feel like I don't know anyone. What is real? Like, I didn't know anything real because I feel like for so long my mom lied to me. But it wasn't that she lied, and she protected me from those feelings, you know. And I didn't feel them long. Once I got, you know, once me and her had those conversations, we continued to have those conversations, a lot of those feelings left. But I still had the resentment towards my biological mom and the abandonment issues and all those things. So once I got older and kind of like in like 15, 16 area, I kind of like learned how to really cope with it and really like, you know, get to the nitty gritty and find out, you know, okay, this is my family. These are my peoples. They love me because they took care of me and they took me in. No matter if they birthed me, no matter if we have the same blood, we still are family, and when the love is still strong.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And that's important, Ani, because I shared that in another episode. Sometimes, you know, like even a stepdad or stepmom have to come in and wear those shoes.
Yes.
Give that kid what they need to grow up in life and to be who they are meant to be. Sometimes it may not be the biological parent. Some biological parents are no longer here. They're deceased.
Right.
So somebody has to pick up the pieces and try to. The blessing is that you had someone that picked up the pieces and they moved on with your life.
Yes, I thank my mother every day for picking up the pieces. And I feel like, you know, everything happened for a reason. You know, we may not like the decisions God has made towards our lives.
Correct.
But the Bible says, and you know, I'm not a deep person, but the Bible says all things work together for the good of those that love God and are called by his purpose. So because my mom, she adopted me, she really molded me into a great man. She instilled so many great things and so many great qualities within me as it relates to spirituality and just being a good all-around person. If we take religion and we take spirituality out of it, you still are required to be a good person. You know? So she taught me how to be a good person and how to love unconditionally and love all people.
I like that.
Yes.
She taught you well. She got her wisdom and she shared it with you because see, you carried it on, and that's what it's all about. It's all about carrying on and sharing with other people. Because I remember you telling that you do some community work, things of that sort, and I'm sure that your energy and the things about you shine on other people because you've given them what they need. Because you'd be surprised at people where they are in life and they don't open up and talk about it. They internalize. And when they meet someone that's open and real, they let their guards down or they let those walls down and they say, you know what? I can do this. I have a purpose as well, you know, because there are a lot of people that have been adopted on it, and you know, life goes on, and some may not even know that they're adopted. They just move on. But something happens to trigger that thought process, or you kind of wonder. Kids wonder, you know, like you said, you know, I don't look like, or you know, things of that sort. Kids are so smart. They know something is up. They are. They're smart. They're smart. So, you know, again, I use my grandson. I tell my daughter, you know, you have to be open with him. If he has questions about things, please explain it to him, because if you don't, he's going to go to his peers and his friends or to the streets to get it. And he may not get it the way he needs to get it to understand it.
That's right.
Talk to him. You know, Cowboy will call me, and I call him Cowboy. He'll call me and he'll talk to me about everything. And I don't, you know, get upset about it. I say, okay, well, let's talk about that. And I ask him, what are your thoughts? And he'll say, well, sometimes he say, well, I'm not sure. I say, well, let me give you my version on it. Then you tell me what you think about it once I share my version of it.
Yes.
So, you know, kids are smart. You just can't hardly keep anything from it because they're going to find out sooner or later.
Sooner or later, they'll find out.
That's right. That's right. Well, I have my next question for you, Ani. I remember also during our conversation, you talked about healing of the mind and the soul, holistic healing. I want you to share your thoughts and your wisdom, because you got to know what it's all about now to be able to talk about it and feel it. Your thoughts and wisdom on healing of the mind.
So my thoughts on healing of the mind, I want to say it first. It is vital that if there's any like hurt that you've been dealing with, any trauma, that you deal with it, because when we walk on a broken leg, it's going to continue to worsen and it's going to continue to be bad. But if we stop and we allow ourselves to heal, then we can really go and we can keep on doing it. So my thoughts on, being healing of the mind is do it. Start your healing journey, whether you got to talk to a life coach, a counselor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. Start doing it. Put yourself in, different exercises. Develop a mental regimen. I always tell people to develop a mental regimen because this needs to be clear before this can go anywhere. When your mind is clear, your house can be clear, because there's some people, one of my friends, she, when she gets really cluttered, you can tell when a lot of her issues and emotions is cluttering her mind because everything around her clutters. So when your mind isn't, one, and your mind isn't right, it starts spewing out of your, into your relationships, into your life. And for me, when I was going through a lot of issues mentally, and I was in relationships and broken relationships and this, that, and the third, I would find myself, really taking out on this one what the next one did to me. So when you are healing mentally it's so vital, it's so important, because we go through life every day with issues, and some people who deal with mental issues, now you have people going to schools, shooting up schools, going to supermarkets, shooting up supermarkets for no entire reason, because they can't really internalize and deal with what it is that's going up here. To prevent yourself from, spewing out and lashing out on innocent people, you have to take the time to say, hey, okay, I got to deal with this. Something is going on up here, which causes my right here not to feel right. And when my right here don't feels right, it spews into my members, and now I'm lashing out. And I'm doing all these things to different people, and I'm hurting people, because the saying says, hurt people, and it's true. We hurt people every day because we're hurt and we don't know how to heal. So, and it's not a right way to heal. It's not a right or wrong way. Just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
You said that well. So I told you was wise. I knew you had something to share. You had something to share, Yes. And I look at, our journey, we go through our journeys, and God give us what we need. Sometimes we don't hear what God is trying to tell us because we're so busy. We're so busy moving. We're so busy living. We're so busy doing it our way that we don't stop long enough to hear what's going on around us. It's the chatter. It's just a lot of noise. It's a lot of noise. Be it people, be it your work, be it, be it everything. It's all of that. But I think that we've come to a point in time in life that we have to stop and pay attention. I truly believe God is letting us know, I want you to pay attention to me, what's going on with me, because you mentioned something here about what the kids are dealing with, what people are dealing with. You're right. It's up in their mind. And this time of life, what we're going through, it's making some people just flip. Because it's been going on probably for a while now. There's some things that have been going on with them for a while. And in the midst of the chatter and life and, just moving and grooving, they never really identify with it until it come to a place and time now that people are sitting still. And if you don't have, what I'm saying, what you need to deal with that, you start to go snap, crackle, and pop and don't even know it. Sometimes it's not that person's fault. It's something that's been going on that other people may have seen it and they ignored it.
Right.
They didn't try to help that person identify with what's going on, because we're never too old to stop and get someone to, hey, can you listen to me? I need to talk.
Right.
I need to talk. But a lot of people are not comfortable in talking about it. They internalize it. And you can see it on their face, Anna. You can tell when some people are troubled.
Yep. You can see it all over them.
Yeah.
You can see it all over them. Yes.
Yes. You can see it all over their face, their demeanor, how they talk. Or if you talk to them, they're looking down at the ground.
Yes.
You know, they can't look in your face. Something's going on there. And, you know, I had a meeting earlier today with my son's, my grandson, not my son. My son, he's 42, so I don't deal with school stuff now. I'm done. I'm done with.
That's
but with
right.
my grandson, I'm more involved with my grandkids now because it's their season. So I had a meeting today with his teacher on a 3-way call. And we had a 3-way call.
Okay.
When we discussed some things there, and I'm the type of person. I'm gonna call like I see it. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't play with it. I call like I see it. I'm old school, honey.
That's right.
I'm old school. I don't have that. You know,
That's
I tell
right.
people, please don't take this personally because I'm old school. And when I say something, it's really for the better. It's for the betterment. I'm not trying to be funny or hurt anybody's feelings or none of that.
Right.
But I shared with her what's going on with the schools because the kids at school, there was one kid that continues to bully my grandson. And I said, that's a no-no. I said, I'm sure you guys hear what goes on and how kids are just dealing with so much. Like I told my daughter, he's not but 10 years of age and he's dealing with things he might not know how to deal with. So he's going to internalize these things. But Ani, not under my watch. That's not happening. That's not happening, Captain.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. And I told my daughter, I said, I'm really busy right now, but go ahead. Let's do this 3-way call right now. Let's nip this in the bud right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
Right now. I'm not going to wait till tomorrow. No, because tomorrow's not promised. Let me handle this right now.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Yes. Because like you talked about, you know, things start to happen and it gets in their head and they carry it with them. And then some more stuff in their head. So if they learn how to identify what's on their mind, what's in their head, their mindset, it just grows like a mushroom. It becomes out of control. So let's nip it in the bud and deal with this right now. And I told the principal, you let my grandson know that I've been on the phone talking to you and we're nipping this in the bud for him not to take this stress and carry it on with him. He'd go back to class and he'd learn. He needs to focus on learning, not dealing with this stuff right here. No, sir. Not at all.
Wow.
So thank you for listening because I had to go and get that one out there. I had to get that out there.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right. So my next question here. We had a good conversation, so I'm kind of just elaborating on some of the things that we talked about. And I remember one moment you talked about in one moment in life, you know, you asked that question. When did you realize it was vital and important to be authentically you? And I'd like for you to share with our listeners the meaning of authentically. What does that mean? Authentically you. Okay.
So let me give the meaning first. Being authentically you is my opinion and my definition that I use for my own life. Being authentically you is going through life at the beat of your own drum. Whatever the beat is, whether it's fast, whether it's slow, whether it's medium, whatever your tempo is, going through life at the beat of your own drum. And when I realized, the moment of my life where I realized I needed to be authentically you, going back to what I said earlier, is when I was realizing that I was being a chameleon and I was really just adapting and being who I was around. So it was causing me to, when we say, oh, he's fake or she's fake because he's telling me one thing and then they're telling someone else something else. So that's when I realized, okay, Ani, you have to really become your own person because I shouldn't be like Lisa when I'm around Lisa. And then when I'm around Tom, I should be like Tom. I should always be Ani at all times. So that's when I realized, okay, Ani, you have to reel it in. Let's bring it back. You have to be you because now it's causing different issues in your relationships because you're telling them different things.
That's a lot of work too, Ani. That's a lot of work when you have to try to juggle like that and trying to satisfy other people. You know, you're trying to accept everybody, but if you satisfy you, they have to accept you for who you are. They have to love you for who you are. And if they can't handle it, I tell people, bye, Felicia. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. You know, if you can't handle me, if you can't handle the truth, because I'm going to keep it real with you.
I'm going to always keep it real with you, always, at all times. I'm going to keep it real with you. Exactly. And I had to learn that through some failed friendships, through some arguments, through some fights. I had to learn, okay, Awny, you have to be one way all the time.
That's right. That's a much more peaceful you, because to me, that's got to be stress when you're trying to be there for everybody. It's hard. Even for, say, a parent that's got 2 or 3 kids, she's got to really wear different hats for each child because each child is at a different place. Well, that I get, because you're trying to help nurture those children to be better people. But when it comes to people that you associate with, you just can't make them happy. Somebody's still going to have something to say about you. So why not you be happy with you and move on? Just, hey, move on. Just keep it moving. So yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one as well, because a lot of people still have a hard time with that. And I'm doing an episode down the road, you know, about your friends. Are you living for your friends, or are you living for yourself? Just being who you are. Those are the things that we want to share with people, that it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to, you know, do what others do just to make them happy or to fit in. Some do it to fit in.
They do.
Yeah, to fit in. So you don't have to try to fit in. You can fit into your world. Mm-hmm. All right, then. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Anna, we've really had a good conversation here. We've talked about some things that are, to me, are very important. It's very important for people to, you know, grow into who they are and find their purpose, you know, and be happy in life. Be happy in life. Yes. And I remember you talking about, you know, a friend who deals with a lot of you know, in the clutter around them causing them to be cluttered in their mind. Mm-hmm. What's going around them cause their minds to be you know, they're not settled in their mind. And when you're not settled in your mind, your spirit is not settled. Right. You are dealing with some things that's causing you to be, you know, you're dealing with some stuff. You're dealing with some stuff that you need to just, you know, I've said it before, if you got to go stop and go clean your house, or you can clear your mind. Matter of fact, you'll be clearing your mind while you clean up the house.
Right.
You start to feel good about yourself because your house is in order. And you start to feel like, you know what, my house is in order. My life is in order. I'm working on them both.
That's right. That's true.
I'm working on them both. So yes, it's very important. So we're going to wrap up here in a few minutes here. And I just want to, you know, tell our listeners and viewers, you know, where they can catch up with you and hear more about your creative works, your podcast. So kind of tell us a little bit about, you know, what you're doing, because I know you're a creative spirit, because I've seen your photography work. You do great photography work. I mean, I've seen some awesome work of yours. So you know, congratulations on everything that you put your hands on. You go at it for perfection. You don't play with it. You go at it for perfection. Yes. All right. So share with us about what you do and how everybody can reach you.
Okay. So first, I am a photographer, and reach me. I travel. I do travel. I was just in Houston maybe last week doing a photo shoot for my niece. So just hit me up. We are always looking for new clients, and we love building relationships with our clients. And I do have a podcast called All In with Awny, where when you come in, we talk about any and everything. We chat it up. We don't leave nothing in any gray areas, any dark areas. We shed light on everything. And I just love, you know, being a podcast host and having that kind of a podcast, because I tell my people all the time, my listeners, I say we are a podcast for all people, all nationalities, all religions, because healing is not just for the Christians. Healing is inclusive. And a sound mind is inclusive, and being healthy is inclusive. It's for everyone. So I always pattern myself to be a person that is for everyone. Anyone can come and be, my friend and mentee or whatever. So that's what I'm doing. In that I'm about to have a live recording ending out my season 2. We are now in a episode series called Pride and All Outside, and it's for my LGBTQIA plus community. And because this month is our Pride Month, and we are very proud of who we are and coming into one and being authentically who you are. Because I said in my episode that I aired yesterday that being authentically you will qualify you to sit at any table. And it will qualify you for greatness, because when you are authentically you, another real person will see that and they will respect that.
Correct.
And the respect will cause you to be before great men. The respect will cause you to be a great man in the eyesight of others as well. Correct. So my podcast, we are doing big things. We're doing great things. And I also do life coach work. And I have a foundation called the Safe House Foundation. And it's for the LGBTQIA plus community, their youth, even the older ones. We are actually looking into providing housing and all that good things. So we're working. We just started with one of our first mentees. So we're working and we're doing it, and we're doing big things. And I'm just excited about, life and fulfilling purpose and destiny, because I feel like my purpose and my destiny on this earth is to help others and to help people become the best them that they can be.
That is so awesome. And I hear it in you. I see it in you. That is exactly who you are. And you at a place of peace with doing it. You do it with the greatest of ease. Yes. It's not a complicated task for you. It's not like a job you go to and you don't want to go to that job that day because you really don't like that job.
Right.
You do this with the greatest of ease, and people can see it. They can feel it. And you help them to let those walls down and be who you are, or who you want to be, and not feel like you've got to, like you say, please everybody else. You don't have to try to wear a fakeness about you to please other people. Be who you are. Be who you are. Right. And I admire you for that, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Because there are people that they just don't do it. They're uncomfortable. They don't want to be ridiculed or judged. And who can judge anybody? We're all God's children. We can't judge anybody. I like, how dare you try to judge somebody? I mean, nobody's perfect. So we can't do that.
And I want to say one last thing. I want to give a little bit of advice, and it's a 2-part advice. For the one who is struggling with becoming who they are, whether it's being comfortable with your sexual preference or because it goes beyond sexuality, it goes beyond all the religion and spirituality. It goes beyond all that, because there are some straight people that don't know how to be them.
Correct.
And the war is, we are conflicting. When the conflict comes in, is because this is who I am, but I'm trying to be this.
Correct.
And when you are trying to be something that you're not, it's always going to be stressful. It's always going to be struggle. It's always going to have, because it's a war within yourself. To settle the war, find out who you are. I used to go out on dates with myself. I used to sit and write things I like about myself. I used to sit and listen to myself vent. I used to vent to myself. And at first I was like, am I crazy for doing this? But I really came into one with who Awny was, so I could be strong. I could be strong and resilient, so nobody can come and tell me who I am. If you are who you are, no one can tell you who you are. And on the other end, for the people, we aren't who we are because we're afraid of what someone else is going to say. You cannot allow the views and the opinions of others to shape who you are, because it's not that they're wrong for saying, oh, I don't agree with that. They have a right to say they don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, their opinion and their right should not alter who you are.
Correct.
Because we are all we grew up differently. We grew up in different headspaces. Our parents taught us different things. And some people stick to what their parents say, and some people say, okay, I'm going to find research on myself. But we always have to realize that being you is gonna cause you to be okay up here and right here. And the fight is, I am this way, and I want to be this thing. So I just want to tell somebody, always remain authentically you, because it's going to cause you to sit at any table.
That's right. That's a strong word. A lot of people probably don't even pay any attention to it. But when you explain it from your perspective, it resonates. It has to resonate with people, because there are people that probably haven't thought about that, because they're too busy with life.
Right.
And to be authentic, oh, that's huge. Because it's not a word we use every day, but it means a lot.
It does.
It means a lot. It means a lot in your day-to-day. Yep, it means a lot in your day-to-day. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. And then thank you for sharing that. You share some solid information that I know that people are going to sit back and think about it. And they may want to reach out to you, when they go to your podcast, listen to you, or help you in the community to do more of what you're doing, because, we're a family. We have to come together and get in where we fit in, get in where we fit in to help not only others, but to help ourselves. It makes you feel good. It makes me feel good when I can do what I do. It makes me feel good, because why would we try to internalize and keep it to ourselves? That's selfish.
Right. Selfish.
That's selfish. We can't do that. You got to reach out to help others, because there's somebody else that is dealing with the same thing, or they don't even know they're dealing with it yet. They don't even realize that's what they're dealing with. We have to identify with that. So we're going to get ready to wrap up this episode of Life and Wisdom Speaks with my guest today, Awny, who has shared so much good information. Just keeping it real. Just sharing you. Just sharing you. Not scripted. None of that stuff. We just talk about what we talk about. We just keep it real. So that's the part I like about this podcast that I brought about. I have guests here where we keep it real. I said, don't get nervous about it. Don't worry about it in the script. I'm going to let you be who you are. And you share with the world who you are, because I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here and, share with people that, you told them how they can reach you. And I want everybody to share this episode. I'm going to share it. I want you to share it and share with other people out there and other platforms to check out this episode of Life and Wisdom Speaks with my guest, Awny, and then check out other episodes of Laws of Life. As far as I'm concerned, it's called Laws of Life. I didn't really catch that when I came up with that title, Awny. When I came up with Life and Wisdom Speaks, and I was like, wait a minute, that's an acronym. It's Laws of Life. And that's what it boils down to.
Yes.
It's laws of life. God is so good, because he brings things to you and you don't really know what he brought to you till you sit back and think about it. A good friend of mine, she shared that with me, and I said, girl, we're thinking alike, because I'm looking at this word, this title, and when you put the first alphabet there, that spells laws. And it is about life. It's your laws of life, how you do what you do. So I hope everyone enjoyed this episode with me, Barb Cole, as your host. And you guys, we're going to see you next time. And Awny, thank you again for being here with us. And everybody, be blessed. You're welcome.
Yes,
you're welcome. Thanks, Awny. You have a great one.
You too.
Thank you.
You've been listening to another episode of the Life and Wisdom Speaks podcast with your host, Barb Cole. Thank you to our listeners and sponsors. And don't forget to share and sign up for upcoming episodes of Laws of Life with your host, Barb Cole, and guests, as we all grow towards a new mindset, towards a new you.